Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Tapatio, it is the spicy yellow mustard. Now, I have not done a Tapatio sauce proper on the blog or in this series, but I have had quite a lot of it. Tapatio is one of the first table sauces, Mexican style table sauces I had that was not Cholula, that just kind of blew my mind. And I remember when they were like fairly regional, like LA and maybe a little bit east of that. I was introduced to by some dudes from East LA, and they're like, you know, we were going through the different sauces around, and I was like, this one's okay, this one's okay. And they said, you gotta try this one. And I did gotta try that one, and I've liked it from that moment on. I think it's a fantastic sauce. Table sauce. I'm always happy when I'm traveling because I don't bring a lot of sauces with me when I travel. So it's nice to be able to find something like this on the road that you know you can count on, that's good, and that's going to bring a nice flavor and just a little bit of punch to the proceedings, and is somewhat universal. Tapatio is one that I've definitely had a lot of. I do quite enjoy that hot sauce. All right, so we've got Morehouse Foods. I don't know if Tapatio is still made by Tapatio. Like when they went national, they were on like chips and a bunch of other stuff, packets and restaurants and stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're not the sort of smaller brand anymore. But we've got, this just seemed like a fascinating idea to me. We've got vinegar, water, mustard seed, Tapatio hot sauce, and what else we got? We've got sea salt, turmeric, paprika, and spices. And you can see it's got little coloration. It looks primarily like a yellow mustard. I needed a yellow mustard, and I saw this, and I was like, that's a must. I must do that. I have seen that my buddy Barrel Shape has also reviewed this. You could definitely go check out his video. I have not seen it myself as of the filming of this because I ordered this one actually a couple months, and I've been waiting for grill season and for me to run out of the other mustard. But I ordered probably a couple months before I saw his video was posted. Like I said, I still have not seen the actual video. I will watch it, of course, though, after once I've concluded this one. When I see, he and I have sometimes similar taste to stuff. He's a nice. It's interesting to get his take on stuff, but for me, a lot of times when I see that somebody else kind of in the space has reviewed something, I don't watch it because I don't want that coloring my own commentary. Not that it would necessarily, but sometimes, like if you get a turn of phrase or something like that sticks in your head, it's very difficult not to. So I just sort of avoid those videos entirely if I know I'm going to do a sauce until I've actually done the sauce. Sometimes even if I just want to do a sauce, like it seems like something I'd be interested in doing, I will then still not watch the video until I've kind of gone through my own sort of ringer with it. You can see here it is maybe a little bit deeper yellow than I think what we normally see. This is not French's yellow mustard or anything. I don't know. Morehouse Foods is City of Industry, California. So this, I mean, maybe it is. I don't remember that Morehouse Foods was distributing Tapatio, and there's a lot of lore around how this started. You know, was it a restaurant? The guys from East LA that introduced me to it said that they kind of peripherally knew the guy that made this. I don't know how true that is, but this might not be the big, the big sort of there's Tapatio LLC. So maybe Tapatio is still the sort of family company. That'd be cool. It'd be cool that not everything in this increasingly corporatized world has been sloughed into the ringer of quarterly reports and bullshit for stockholders. Anyway, yellow, nice little red flecks in there. Sort of a darker yellow, I would say, than like French's. French's and Plockman's tend to be much, much brighter yellow. But it looks good. I mean, it looks like a fine, fine yellow mustard. Let's get into that and find out if that is the case or not. Oh, wow. It's a tad grainy. French's and Plockman's are almost never grainy. This is interesting because you can get a sense of the Tapatio, but it is very much a straightforward yellow mustard. It actually has a appreciable, like I can pick it out, degree of heat to it, which is super nice. I mean, Tapatio is not blazing hot or anything like that, but it does have a little bit of a punch to it, and I really am getting a lot of that wonderful Tapatio flavor. This is remarkable. Wow, this might be one of the best mustards, at least in terms of yellow mustards. This might be one of the better ones I've ever had. I am so pleased that is the case. So pleased. Normally I would have a tower of brat, but here's a funny story. So you can see, we're into grill season now, but you can see I'm back to long sleeves because we had a cold spell. Now by the time you're watching this, which will be the nation's birthday, I suppose, I thought, the mustard, you have a grill out and you got to have a good mustard. This might be a very good to a great mustard. So it's worth saying from that. But also, you know what? There is a lot of undersung nationalities that are part of the national fabric. Certainly, it would not have been possible without the contribution from a lot of people south of our border there. And I'm talking about Mexico. And, I'm not selfish. Like, I was born here, but I will share my country's birthday and I will acknowledge their contributions. Absolutely. 100%. So, I think this is perfectly fitting for the July 4th sort of celebration. And this is a great mustard, by the way, to have for the grill out. Irrespective of all that other stuff, a very quality product. So I've got here, I didn't show you these. These are Parmesan crusted croissant mini hot dogs. And Kroger makes these. And of course we can sort of combining croissants with Parmesans. You've got Italian and French influence there. Certainly there was no shortage of that as well in the formation of this land. But I think the hot dogs and this sort of fusion is a very distinctly American thing, to be sure. Hot dogs, you can make the case that they could either be, like, if you want to consider these smaller ones like Vienna sausage, you can consider it Austrian, or you could consider, hot dogs in general as sort of a Germanic thing. Multinationalism is another facet. I'm all for celebrating that. I don't know if we have another 250 left in us. Honestly, I'm not even sure there's another 50 left in us. But, for what's here in the here and now, there is those to whom we can pay homage. These actually are usually I don't like hot dogs except for Nathan's or the Hebrew Nationals. I don't know who's making these, but they're quite good. Like Kroger will just sometimes come out with some actual doozies. These are quite good. And it works so well with the mustard. I mean, you gotta, unless you're having a chili dog, you gotta have mustard on a dog. And of course, we'll run this through the ringer with some potato salad probably. Make some deviled eggs. Nice ham and cheese. This goes great on a cold roast beef sandwich. This is just a very nice product. I wasn't sure what to expect with Tapatio meeting mustard. But this is super nice. I like this a lot. It's been a little bit of dry pickings for me, for mustards, for spicy mustards. There is a playlist, but I gave up on that project a while ago. I was trying to do one a month for certain grill seasons for certain years. And just ran out of road. There's less spicy mustards, I guess, than one might think. I think there's a lot of interest for mustards, though. Depending on, which one it is. I'm definitely looking forward to these on some brats. Brats, you have to have a mustard. Have to have a good mustard. And with brats, normally I would have just made a tower of brats and just kind of went with that. Maybe some, oh my God, that mustard's so good. It surprises me because I'm not necessarily expecting the hot sauce element, and that's there, and I'm like, ooh. But if you're making like a mustard kraut brat, for instance, one of my favorite ways to have brats You gotta have a good mustard. You gotta have a good kraut. Gotta have a good mustard. This one is excellent. Okay, well, flavor-wise, this is in the top mustards I've ever had in my entire life. And I've had a lot of them. For a while, when I was homebrewing, Sierra Nevada used to punch out a lot of mustards with their different brews. I went through all of them. That was actually a really big thing. And there's still a lot of those, the stone grounds, the sort of ale mustards. I still will pick one of those up here and there, but I've kind of dialed a lot of my purchasing towards stuff I can make content with. And this series is meant to be spicier stuff. So as much as I love a good porter mustard, it's not spicy. It's not even close to that. Now this one, Tapatio as a hot sauce, is maybe a 1 for me, maybe. That might even be pushing it. This one is more like a default 1. You can definitely tell there's something there. You can definitely tell the intent. But this is not by any means scorching. It is certainly a lot hotter than if there was nothing. No question about that. But I mean, it's not blazing or anything like that. It's a really, really nice. You get these notes of the flavor of the wonderful Tapatio hot sauce, and then you just get that little spike, that little sort of pinprick of heat. It's super nice. Like I'm just quite impressed with this. Yeah. If I don't get any other spicy mustards this year, I am definitely glad I got to this one. If you like the regular sort of yellow mustards, if you like yellow mustards, absolutely put this on your radar. It is fantastico. Believe it right there. So that was the Tapatio Spicy Yellow Mustard. Number 4. In peace to serve the flame.